All right, we are live. So, thank you all for tuning in Profe Gayu. And I got a special guest that needs no introduction. No
Oh,
introduction. The one
uh,
and only, free from Chapapa TV. Woo, woo, woo!
thank you, man. Thank you. I do need an introduction, man. Still, but I appreciate that, brother.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you coming on my channel, man. I know your anniversary for 1 year just came out recently.
Right.
So, I probably started watching you maybe after it's probably been about 7 months or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, man, I've been following your channel once you got into DR, and really enjoy the content, and of course all the collaborations you've been doing, create even better content. So I just want to just thank you, man, for contributing to the that travel community of YouTube, and doing it in a positive way. I
First
appreciate it.
off, Prophet, thank you for watching and paying attention, man. It brings joy to my heart to a year later hearing people say, yeah, I've been on the channel for this amount of time, this amount of time. You and like a few other people been quiet, but that's really great. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
it.
I think I got introduced to you was watching one of Taylor Made Dreams our lives, and you came on his show, and I think that really helps too, because I noticed that a lot of folks that come on this show I've been introduced to, like Ace, for
Right.
example. Ace, way back when Ace first came on the show, and then now I've been following Ace for a very long time, and yourself included, in addition to a lot of other folks. So nah, man, you've been putting out some good content, man.
Thank you, brother.
I'm sad. I'm sad to know that you've gone to Brazil, though. But I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna be honest. I've been to Brazil, man. I understand. I
Yeah,
understand.
listen, there's some things that don't need to be said. Brazil is just
Exactly, exactly. But before we get well into it, man, just introduce yourself to my audience, man. I'm pretty sure I would think that most of them know who you are, but introduce yourself to my audience. A little bit about yourself before we get into it, man.
all right, cool. What's up, y'all? Y'all already heard Profe Free, aka Chapapa TV, aka youngest expat to hit the Dominican Republic. I was living in the DR close to 3 years, and you just heard Profe. Now I'm in Brazil. I'm in Sao Paolo, Brazil, to be exact. And YouTube channels basically just day-to-day live, some tips, some hints, some advice, whatever it is. So I just try to make the YouTube fun. It's a hobby for me. It's not a living, it's a hobby. But you guys turned it into a fun hobby. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate Profe for having me on this platform to talk to y'all. Make sure y'all go check out the channel, man. It's very
Check.
entertaining, very fun.
Yeah, do that. First, I didn't know you were in DR for 3 years, man. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
2019.
Wow, I assumed because you started your channel, fairly, a year ago. I assumed you got to DR during that same time frame, because I don't remember
Nah,
watching your videos and you, mentioning that you had, been there for that long.
Nah, I was there. I was just under the radar. I was letting other YouTubers like Taylor Made and the Dominican Route and Flip Flop and everybody else, but I was there.
So let me ask you this: where you from? I know where you from, but tell my audience where you from, man.
All right, so I'm from Queens, New York.
Mm-hmm. And what got you into traveling?
Honestly, so it's like the universe just like put things in my way. So I remember it was 2018, right? And my first time, I just got my passport that year, and then my first trip was gonna be to the Dominican Republic. I was going for a wedding,
Mm-hmm.
and so I went to a wedding in Punta Cana. And bro, when I tell you, like, as soon as like I got off the plane, it was just like this weight taking off my soul. I was breathing easier. I was happy. I was no stress. I was like, nah, I need to turn this into like a full-time thing. So it wasn't even really traveling. So after that moment, every time I went back to the Dominican Republic from 2018 to 2019, I was just doing recon. So I was just looking at, different places, different cities to live in, how the culture is, how the people is. Do I see myself being there for a while? And then it just took off from there.
Nice. Now, I know you were in the military, so I know a lot of folks, get their travel started, with the military.
Right.
But you didn't mention that. So you got your passport after the military.
Yeah, after.
Yeah. So with that said, what were you doing before you made that decision to move to DR?
Shit, I was in New York unhappy as shit. So you guys know New York expensive. So even with the military disabilities, I still was, working, busting my ass, working 2 jobs, 3 jobs during the week or on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, yo, this ain't it. I'm like, yo, I felt something was gonna come. I just didn't know what it was when. But as soon as I traveled and then came, Unc started talking about why he transitioned to the DR. I was just like, yo, this is it for me.
Yeah. So
yeah,
so,
I
so what was that?
I was.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So yeah, I was in New York just like so I bounced after the military. I was bouncing. I worked like a few concerts and at clubs and did a few MC on the weekend, just things of that nature. A lot of nighttime jobs, nightlife jobs. It was still rough.
So what was that transition like? All right, when did you get to that point? Like, you know what, I'm moving, and what steps did you take to make it happen?
Sorry, it had cut out real quick. Can you say that again?
My bad, man. This is this bootleg internet here in DR, man. My bad. So when did you decide? At what point did you decide? Hey, I'm moving to DR, and what steps did you take to start making that move?
Bro, it's gonna sound crazy. I decided my first time there.
And Punta Cana.
Yeah, I didn't even go anywhere else, bro. I decided my first time there. I couldn't even speak a lick of Spanish. I was still Google Translator poppy. But I decided like right there in May of 2018, like the end of May of 2018, because I was there for one of my brother's weddings. I was like, yo, I gotta go. This is it. So from May of 2018, I went back 2 months later, in August that following year, and then I went back in February, and then I went back in July, and it was just, from the first time I was there, like I told you, bro, like it was a feeling that I didn't want to get rid of because I was in New York battling heavy depression, right? And just to go somewhere else, I felt like I had new life again. That really like spoke volumes to me. Yo, Habla Conmigo TV was good.
Yeah. I'm gonna get to those comments real quick. I'm making sure I get this a thorough introduction of how he got to DR. So with that said, here's X Strolling, loyal supporter of my channel, man. What up, Prophet? What up, Chapapa?
X was good.
Baba. So so last night I had a young lady on my channel, and she lives in Punta Cana. And just like you, she had never been to DR before. She had a trip to Punta Cana to go to a resort. She left the resort temporarily, to see around town, and decided that her and her husband was going to move there full time. And within a short period of time after that trip, they moved to Punta Cana. So there's something with Punta Cana, because it got them to move here. It also got you to move here. But when you hear a lot of folks talking, they don't look at Punta Cana as a real option, to live, because a lot of folks prefer to be elsewhere but Punta Cana.
Right. Now, Punta Cana is just, to get your feet wet. So it is definitely one of the most expensive cities in the Dominican Republic. And I don't mean by just rent. I mean like the food you're gonna pay, the drinks, even the moto conchos. Punta Cana is expensive. It's literally just tourist town. But it's just the feeling of it. Because for me, I didn't even fly into the airport. I flew into Santo Domingo, so it was like another 2-hour drive. But just driving through the landscape, and then the weather and the sunshine, and the taxi driver drinking a Presidente while he driving. You don't see things like that. You don't get that. So Punta Cana is for those who just it's the kiddie pool, I want to call it.
Real talk. Hey, what up, Profe Don Omar from Habla Conmigo TV. Buenas noches a mi colega Profe Gallo. He speaks Portuguese as well. We're gonna get into that, man. It's a lot of things I want to discuss with you, man. So I hope you're okay with that.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get it.
All right, cool. Hey, so to keep it moving, when you decided you were going to move to Dominican Republic, what brought you to Santiago, out of all places?
So I was in Puerto Plata first.
Okay.
So when I packed up and I hit my one-way flight, I went to Puerto Plata first. I moved like maybe 5 minutes driving away from Russ. I was closer to Playa Pueblito and in Puerto Plata and like not too far from the Malecon. So I was there first, and I want to say after a few months, I got tired of it. Not the Dominican Republic, but just tired of Puerto Plata as a sense, because you had maybe two main supermarkets, maybe three at the time. Not a lot of restaurants. You just had the Burger King and you had some stuff on the Malecon. I remember La Catalina had just opened up. I was like, I used to go to La Catalina when I was just a baby, and it was a hidden gem. Not a lot of people knew about it. And then one day I'm linked up with this chick from Santiago. So she came out to Puerto Plata, actually spent like maybe like a week or two at my crib. Yeah. And she was just telling me, she was like, yo, you should come check out Santiago. I was like, why? She's like, yo, it's a nice city, a lot more to do. You're still a young guy, I know I get you want to be around all your friends, but all your friends are like 40 years older than you. So I'm like, damn, shorty, that's kind of me, but she had a point. So I never stepped foot in Santiago. The only time I went to Santiago was when I went to go pick her up. Yeah. And I was just like, okay, this is cool. I saw a Nacional supermarket for the first time. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I saw like a McDonald's, and they had bridges and like a lot of traffic lights. I'm like, oh, this is city. So I ended up canceling my lease in Puerto Plata. I signed a 1-year lease and ended up leaving that house in maybe like 5 months to go to Santiago.
Gotcha. What'd you do to cancel the lease? Did you have to pay out something?
All right, so I lost all my deposits basically. Okay. So it was around the time of the pandemic.
Okay.
So basically one of my deposits covered the rent, and then they like kept the security.
Gotcha.
For me canceling the lease early.
So was the security just 1 month or 2 months?
It's 2 months.
2 months, gotcha. All right, yeah. Cool. Good.
Yeah, so I lost like 2 months on my deposit. But
I asked that because a little details matter, because a lot of folks, they want to know that stuff,
Yeah, I had to be real tigre with it. You got to be real tigre here with it. So, it also depends on the landlord also, because she didn't want me to leave. So lots of the times, if you're an American and you're in a renting situation in the Dominican Republic, they're going to know 10 times out of 10, you're going to pay rent on time. They're not going to have to chase you for money, and they don't want to have to go through the hassle of, if maybe not find another American, but, probably rent out to somebody else whose finances aren't as secure as yours. So she tried to get me to stay. She was like, hey, listen, if I take some of the furniture out and lower the rent, would you stay? Because the only thing that was in that house, because I was living in the house at the time, everything else is the living room, the kitchen, the other bedrooms. So that's just it all depends on the landlord too for the right experience. But you definitely gotta be like a little bit aggressive about it.
So Extra wants to ask you, how long did it take for you to feel settled in Santiago?
Oof. Definitely a little longer than Puerto Plata.
Okay.
Due to the nature of the size of the city, the speed, because now we're going to a faster people, if you think about it in terms of infrastructure and things to do. I want to say maybe like 3 months.
3 months. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
But that's after you already been in country for 5 months.
Yeah. I say 3 months because it probably would have took me less, but I'm gonna let you guys know I moved to Santiago right during the beginning of the pandemic.
Gotcha.
So this is when Yo, sure, it's good, Unc. Listen, I said that in my mind too. I was like, shit, she gotta.
So,
I was like, hey, I'm here for my friends. She was like, but your friends are older, like 40 years older than you. She's like, what do you guys have in common? I like, listen, we drink, we get around, we talk about women, we go to the beach. It's good vibes. But shout out to Unc Taylor Made
yeah,
Business.
shout out to the Godfather.
That's my Unc. Love you, Unc. Thanks for tuning in. But so I moved there like at the height of the pandemic. So that was when we had the BS 5 o'clock curfew. I don't know if you remember the 5
Yeah,
p.m.
I remember that, yeah.
So we had the 5 p.m. curfew. Restaurants were closed. You couldn't even do Uber Eats. So it was just it took a little while to adjust due to that.
Yeah. So what was it like living in Santiago? Because I'm gonna tell you this. If I can make a comparison, when I look at Colombia, even though Bogota is a big city, Medellin is like the more organized, the more beautiful, has more of a charm. You know, when you look at, I look at what Medellin is to Colombia is what Santiago is to the Dominican Republic, in my opinion. And I think a lot of folks would agree with me.
Yeah. So what? Because I don't want to negate Santo Domingo because Santo Domingo is like the mecca of cities, but Santiago to me is a more calm down version of Santo Domingo.
Yeah.
You don't get the traffic, you know, you don't get the prices and all that things, but it's an in between.
Yeah. But what was it like living there? I know that you didn't really enjoy. It was kind of boring. Puerto Plata lost its charm, but Santiago, you know, you were there for 2.5 years, man. So what was it like?
Oh no, Santiago was great. Fast paced. I remember it was even a point I was throwing these little hints at Unc, like, yo, Unc, you know, you should probably head out to Santiago too. So when I say there's more to do in terms of, you know, the restaurants, the supermarkets, being able to meet more people, you have the inner city. I got a video up on the channel where it's like a 30-minute video, just me walking around the inner city, because not a lot of people know that's where you go to get your clothes.
Yeah.
Your books. That's where you could go to meet, you know, people. It's very easy. It's easier to meet people, and you won't meet the same people. It's very hard to meet the same people twice in Santiago, unless you go to their job. And Puerto Plata, man, I had my ex-girl working with my new girl's little sister, so I was like, yo, it's time for me to go.
I hear you on that, man. I hear you on that. You know what? I would consider living in Santiago, but man, the fact that there's no beach nearby, you know, it just sort of keeps me from making that move. And I feel like it rains more in Santiago too.
Nah, so when it's hurricane season, you don't really feel it. You just get the winds.
Gotcha.
But as far as the beach, I rarely go to the beach. I live 5 minutes away from the beach, and all my times living in Puerto Plata, I made way to the beach 3 times when it was like 5 minutes away. You know, my favorite beach is La Ensenada. So whenever I go, it's always 2 hours anyway.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: you were here for 3 years in DR.
Hold on. Let me see what Unc said. He said, but he got that language is a difference for sure. Yeah, but if you were to go, say, to the bigger cities at the time of the pandemic where everything was shut down, it's like time would have stopped for you. So by the time things picked up and got normal again, you would have been smooth right along, language or not.
And I do want to add on that, man. It's really incredible that you did not know Spanish coming in, but you managed to learn Spanish very well. And I heard you speak, dude. Like, you speak Spanish very well. So
Thank you.
I think it's incredible that you learn it so quickly and so efficient at it. So and it definitely, I mean, don't you think that really like enhanced your experience? The fact that you learned Spanish.
Oh yeah, 1,000%. And I'm gonna drop a gem for you guys. What really helps the experience, even if you can't pick up Spanish as fast as others, is the intent.
Yeah.
Because if you're around the right people and they see you're trying and your intent, your experience will be better than if you weren't trying.
Gotcha, gotcha. I feel you.
Yo, Jorge,
Jorge,
my
what's good,
guy.
Jorge?
That's
Thanks
my
for tuning
guy.
in.
Phil Jackson right there.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I want to ask you. So, you've been here for 3 years. So you've been. I'm pretty sure you've been throughout the country.
Yeah.
What do you like most about DR, and which area do you prefer in DR?
I know this is gonna sound crazy. I
Uh-huh.
like Santo Domingo. I don't know if it's because I'm a Queens cat at heart, but I like Santo Domingo for the infrastructure. It has the tallest buildings in the country. So like I like buildings
We.
with the view. So right now I'm on the 18th floor
Uh-huh.
in Sao Paulo. So I love buildings with the view. But I also love being able to rent a 4x4 and maybe go to like Sanchez Samana, and like me and Russ did for my birthday in 2021. We went out to Samana. We
Yeah.
literally stopped by somebody's house because they had a little comado connected to the house, sat there, drunk some beers. They brought out avocados to us. We listened to music, just chilling. So I love the ability to just flip the switch and turn it off. So, but you gotta be willing and able to do it. You gotta be able to adjust. So you gotta be like, one day, hey, I could turn up, I could put on my polo shirt and go out to this nice restaurant. The other day, I could go out, grab my little claro box, go kick it in the campo, make some have to make some chicharron from scratch, and you drinking Brugal and you playing dominoes. So
That's dope.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I can agree. Even though I live in Santo Domingo, I part of me wouldn't want to leave Santo Domingo for another part of the country, just simply because everything is here. Yeah, the
right.
traffic sucks, man, but everything is here.
Yeah, that traffic tough. But if you do leave Santo Domingo and you will be downgrading a little bit, but you'll flow like a lot faster. So you'll probably be moving a lot faster than everybody else, depending where you move to.
Gotcha, gotcha. So look, man, I've been watching a lot of your videos, so I already know that I know the general answer to this question I'm about to ask you. But
Okay.
this is for the audience right here. What persuaded you to move to Brazil, specifically Sao Paulo?
All right. So what persuaded me to move to Brazil? Number one, I gotta give credit to where credit's due.
Yeah,
Brazil wasn't on my radar until Unc was in my ear about it.
gotcha.
So Tailor Made Jeans was in my ear. So I was expressing to him like, hey, Unc, listen, I'm thinking about leaving DR. I'm just certain things are starting to snowball for me in the Dominican Republic. And before I say, okay, I have enough, not hate, but like this light. I don't know if it's my internet or your internet that keeps cutting
Man,
off.
honestly, man, I would say it's mine because look, I got Claro, but look, my internet goes in and out a lot. And
Hey, that's another thing. That's another reason why I left DR.
you back? You hear me?
Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah. So you said that's another reason why you left DR.
Yeah, because their fiber optics really ain't fiber optics.
So no, it really isn't. It really isn't. Um, Basically, I got a router, a router that acts like a hotspot essentially,
Hmm.
where it's not hardwired as you would think about fiber optic be hardwired. So I mean, it goes in and out, man, and yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
okay.
situation here.
Yeah, so if you're not hardwired, so yeah, that'll make sense. But yeah, so first Unc put it on my radar. So I was like, listen, let me go check it out because I originally talked to him. It was him and Jorge I was talking about, like, listen, I'm ready to go to the DR probably end of this year. And he told me about Brazil. I came to Brazil after Colombia. So I did a Colombia Brazil trip.
Yeah,
And as soon as I got to Brazil, I was like, you know what? I don't even have to look anymore. I went to Rio first.
yeah,
So I went to Rio first, and just the energy, because for me, energy like really talks for me. The
yeah,
energy, the vibe, the people, and then we get into the infrastructure.
yeah,
What's the dollar to their currency like? The food, the women, all that stuff. So for me, it was like Brazil, Colombia. Brazil was a no-brainer.
yeah, yeah. And I recently gone to Brazil. I was in Brazil earlier this month, and I'm telling you, man. Now I hear people talk about Brazil or die, and Russ. Russ is very influential. So when he says something, you got to check it out, right? And
Yeah.
a lot of folks that made videos, that have gone out there, man. And when I went out there, I realized I totally understand. Number one, Brazil is cheap. You get a bigger bang for your buck, like Russ just said, right?
Yep.
The infrastructure, to me, it's a lot like this. It's a lot like the states as far as organization and infrastructure, but it's cheaper than DR. At least in my experience, it's cheaper than DR. But you still there? There you go. Yeah, man. So do you plan on making Brazil your permanent home?
Yeah, you got. Yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Do you plan on making Brazil your permanent home?
I would. It's hard to say, but at the rate I'm going now, I would say yeah, I would have a problem with it because there was a point where I was like, listen, I'm going to go to DR and I could see myself being here for at least 10 years. But for now, I definitely see Brazil being that permanent home.
Now let me ask you this: the 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 immigration process between in DR and immigration process in Brazil, is it comparable? Is it the same level of easiness or difficulty, or same steps, or is it more challenging?
It's more difficult. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why it's more difficult. It's similar to Colombia in a way. So here in Brazil, they only give tourists 180 calendar days out of the year. So you could stay for 6 months, and then you have to leave for another 6 months.
Gotcha.
And DR, you can stay for however long as you want. You just pay an exit fee and you come and go as you please.
Gotcha. So first, I want to shout out to Haitian Gunman. Hey,
Yo,
salute,
AG,
man. Coming through, man. And Marie from Life in Haiti. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. So we got Taylor. He just said it's cheaper in terms of goods and services, which is a lot of where your money goes, goods and services.
Right.
Let me see. So Extra, he got a question. Comparing the two countries, what is one thing that Brazil does better than DR? What is one thing that DR does better than Brazil?
Oof. All right, so I'm gonna give you the Brazil list first because I'm here. Number one, the professionalism.
Okay.
The professionalism where you go into businesses, the infrastructure, more to offer. I mean, in terms of stores, services, malls, restaurants, places to visit, things to do, different types of people you could come across. The countries that border Brazil. Yeah, I saw Jorge. Jorge's been trying to recruit me back to Dominican Republic. I'm like, I don't know. He's been doing a good job though, trying to recruit me back to Dominican Republic. But yeah, especially like things that used to like get me mad in DR, like in terms of professionalism from people or businesses, or with Ubers, with is this the correct price that I'm paying? Are you hiking up the price because I'm a gringo? Like mira, yo soy gringo, pero no soy banco, coño. Like stop playing. I may be American. I may be American, but I don't got money like that. All right? So. Yeah. Just little things like that, like in Brazil, I didn't have to go through.
Yeah.
And as far as DR, I miss my peoples over there. I miss Russ. I miss Jorge. I miss Vince. I miss my peoples over there, Alex. But I would say maybe DR has better beaches.
Okay.
Because I've been to like maybe 1 or 2 in Rio. I was like, oh, okay, cool. In Rio, you could surf. You could surf. And like they have like their nice Comau system, but I would say DR has nice beaches, more better nature, like in terms of the rios and the cascadas and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, I've been Thailand is a little blip on my radar. So depending how long you stay out there, I may have to make that trip. Hopefully, it ain't enough to make me want to move out there because I'm.
Hey, that'd be crazy if it is. It's cheap out there though. It's cheap.
It is, and Philippines too.
Yeah. I've been out there too, man. It's cheap, man. It's cheap.
Yeah, I have yet to go.
So kidnapping, not kidnapping.
He's speaking Creole.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Asian government.
All right, Asian government.
Damn, Russ is staying until March. Oof. You're leaving on the 11th of October or November? Stay until March. That's tempting. I'm gonna have to.
Yes.
See. That's very tempting because I was telling myself, I want to do like an early vacation next year. I was just like, maybe I'll just go to Mexico or resort, but the 11th of October, damn, I'm gonna be in DR end of October. So
that's another question I have. Now that your home is in Brazil, are you still going to be like traveling a lot to other countries, such as?
So I'm gonna take advantage of South America because South America is mainly Spanish speaking. So I definitely want to go to Argentina, Peru, these other countries that border Brazil. Yeah. So Buenos Aires is like 2 hours from here, and just these other Spanish speaking countries. So I definitely want to take advantage of that. But I do want to hit up Asia also.
Yeah. Well, Brazil damn near borders every country in South America. Besides like Ecuador and Chile. So yeah, definitely, man. Check out South America has a lot to offer.
Mm-hmm.
So another question I have for you, man, is as a disabled veteran, do you feel that it's been a challenge for you to get medical care or medical attention while you've been in DR and while you've been in Brazil?
I will be honest, medical attention and care is easier as a veteran in the Dominican Republic for now. For now. I say for now because, shout out to my guy, Alan. I know Alan, he has the clinic up there, the veterans clinic up there in Puerto Plata. Make sure you guys go check that out. Any veterans that want to, move to Puerto Plata. But he also spoke about coming down here to Brazil to do something. Mm-hmm. So right now is like that veterans third-party clinic market is open in Brazil. So for me, I haven't had that place where I know I could go and get my services as a veteran here in Brazil. So yeah, that's another reason why I'll be flying back to DR.
So yeah, and I asked that question because I have not heard anyone talk about that part of their experience in Brazil. So I really want to. So thank you for clearing it up, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Healthcare is great down here. It's cheap, especially if you have insurance. I had insurance in Dominican Republic, and I still had my veteran services. So I say whatever country you're gonna live in, get that country's insurance.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And you say you have your insurance in DR, but do you have insurance in Brazil?
No. So for me to get insurance in Brazil, I need to have some form of residency first. Gotcha. So I just got my documents sent over from the States. So I have to get like some stuff apostilled and notarized.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping by the end of the year I'll have something. So once I get my residency, because veterans in like countries like Dominican Republic, Colombia, Brazil, I don't know about Thailand, but you qualify for residency through retirement as a disabled veteran.
Hey, repeat that again.
So if you're a veteran and whether you're 60, you're 80, you're 100%, and you want to get up and move to the Dominican Republic or Colombia or Brazil or any of these other countries where your dollar is times 3, 9 times out of 10, you will qualify for that country's retirement. So they'll call it the retirement visa. So some countries offer 3 visas: visas by getting married, visa of investment, and visa through retirement. So if you're a veteran, no matter how old you are, if you just have that VA letter saying, hey, my broken ass is getting X amount of dollars per month, you qualify for that visa.
Facts. I had to repeat that because that's very, very important. Very important. So Brazil has a similar process that DR has. So therefore, if one wanted to move to Brazil, they get they got VA disability. They have an opportunity to actually go through the process. Now, is the process smooth or rougher than it is in the DR? Because I know you went through the process in the DR as well.
Oof. The process in DR for me was rough. Rough more in terms of the professionalism.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to deal with the Dominican consulate in New York and then dealing with, the offices and lawyers in Dominican Republic. It's like they both work the same, which I don't get. They work on that tranquilo.
Damn.
Hello, manito. Not getting back to you. So
yeah. I haven't dealt with any Dominican lawyers, but I've dealt with Dominican professionals, and yes, that is a very common attitude.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so my man X Shoulder, he asks, how much is the health insurance in Brazil?
Ooh, depends what you want. It depends what you want. It could range anywhere from maybe 100 reais to 400, 500. That's like $20 to $90.
Yeah. Okay.
For your policy. It depends what you want.
Gotcha. Let me get back to my list right here. So let me ask you this. So what do you say to single black men, single men in general, who are thinking about relocating to the Dominican Republic and Brazil or Brazil?
Single black men thinking about relocating. I would tell them to stop thinking and start doing.
And I guess if you can sum it up for Dominican Republic and sum it up for Brazil, what would you say?
Listen, I did a live like this on Tailor Made Dreams channel when I was telling people like, just stop with the fears and just get up and move. And I came across some backlash, and I'm still gonna stand by what I say. Listen, if you're single as a male in today's day and age and you don't have no responsibilities, and I'm not counting parents because we got somebody in this chat right now who brought their parents with them to become an expat. Yes. So there's like little to like no excuses. With you have the remote jobs, I would say, what are you doing? And just go. Stop trying to court in the States. Stop trying to do what you gotta do. Don't talk about, oh, what about the community here? Because I've had people tell me, oh, but what about the black community in the States? Or everybody's leaving. Who's gonna build a community here? Listen, that ain't got shit to do with me now because I'm going. What are you talking to me about this for? Now, I would say if you're single, whether you're black, white, brown, purple, blue, leave, travel. Dominican Republic, Brazil, your Colombia, your Thailand, travel first, and then you're gonna get the feeling, the sensation that Profe got, or Taylor got, or Jorge, or myself, and then you're gonna realize, wow, I see what these brothers were talking about. Yeah. And then you're gonna go back home, and then you're gonna tell your family and your friends, hey, listen, I'm moving out of the country. And you're gonna get the what, or no, you're not, or why are you going to? Listen, you just gotta put your headphones on, like that Beats commercial, pack your bags, downsize, and move. Because nobody else is gonna make time for your happiness. And it took me a long time to hear this. And I'm glad I learned it as late as I did, but also as young as I did. Nobody else is gonna give a shit about your happiness except for you.
Exactly. Well said, man. Well said. Hey, so have you had any challenges with healthcare or with medical care since you've been in DR or Brazil?
So when I first got to DR, one of the first things I did after I got my place was I made sure I got insurance.
Okay.
Make sure I got full coverage insurance for just in case. As far as medications, I'd go to the VA clinics. They'll cover me for that. They'll do my lab tests, my blood work. If it was anything serious, I'd go to like the clinic guys. So I'll go to the hospital with my insurance. But insurance is tricky in DR. Why I say it's tricky because you could come across some clinics that may not even accept your insurance. You could come across some clinics that maybe will take off like a little bit of your consultation. So maybe your clinic visit was 1,500 pesos. They take off 500.
Yeah.
They don't cover everything completely. But I had Universal and I had Humano. So with Humano, I'd get reimbursed most of the time on those clinics if you keep your receipts. But one issue that I had was I did a surgery in DR, right?
Yeah.
When I still had Universal. And when you're doing your surgery, you have this whole checklist you got to do, from blood tests to going to get approved by your insurance to the visits with the doctor, surgery, all that stuff. If you don't do it, they won't perform the surgery. So I did all of that, did the surgery. Right after the surgery, they're like, you have to pay the bill. I'm like, what are you talking about? I have to pay the bill. My insurance paid everything. It was like, no, your insurance didn't pay. You have to pay the bill. So this is me waking up after being under for like, 2 hours. And I called my insurance agent. I'm like, yo, what's going on? They're saying that, the insurance isn't covering. She's like, hold on, let me check. She's like, wait, they operate on you, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, they wouldn't operate on you if their insurance didn't okay them. So be careful of the doctor, because the doctor might be trying to double dip. The hospital might be trying to double dip. So this is what I talk about in terms of.
Damn, man, he cut out, man. Yeah, that's definitely his internet, because my internet is still up. That's definitely his. Until he gets back, that 8-hour flight to Brazil is a killer. Yes, it is a killer, but once you get to Brazil, it's all worth it. Believe me, man, it's all worth it. It's all worth it. That 16-hour flight to Asia is brutal too. Yeah, it is. But I tell you what, if you got Delta and United, look, one round trip over there, man, your miles will go up. You'll be a silver member, a gold member in no time. So definitely take advantage of that. All right, my man, back in.
Sorry about that. I kicked my Ethernet cord. But yeah, so basically,
go ahead.
Yeah, so basically the hospital tried to get more money out of me, and they wouldn't have let me leave until I paid something. So the doctor's like, I'll give you a discount. And that's shady. Like, so you're gonna give me, what are you doing saying I'm gonna give you a discount for the surgery, or I discount this and that? So I'm like, that was a very shady practice. So for me, it's like, yo, no matter where I went in DR, like some situations, the professionalism was very, very, it could be shady, depending on who you were to them or where you went. So that was like my one healthcare horror story in the DR, where it's like the hospital, until this day, they're still trying to collect. I'm like, and I'm like, yo, y'all not getting nothing from me. Y'all need to talk to the insurance about this.
Damn, man. Thanks for sharing your story, man. There's a lot of that going on here, man. There's a lot of that. I mean, there's some honest folks here too, man. Unfortunately, man, there's a lot of that going on here.
Yeah, and the thing I don't like, because I know Russ was saying the other night, when he was on the bus, and the guy that got off the bus and brought him something back. Yeah. There's more bad that shadows the good. So for like every 100 people you meet, maybe 10 of them are good. So you got to be like really, really careful. And that comes in terms of like friendships, businesses, and relationships. So DR is that place where you can't let like the weather and the cold beer fool you. You still got to take your time and vet people correctly.
That's true, man. And I can tell you, man, it's hard for me to trust people here, man. Because I feel like everyone is coming at me with some bad intentions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. So I totally understand what you're saying, man.
Yeah.
Hey. So let me ask you this: now that you in Brazil, Portuguese? Are you learning Portuguese? How's your Portuguese going?
I'm learning Portuguese. My Portuguese is better from when I first arrived in April.
Yeah.
I'm at that weird phase now where I understand more than I could speak it,
Yeah.
but my Portuguese is coming along.
Now I can tell you this. When I was there earlier this month, uh, you can me knowing Spanish, I can communicate.
Yeah.
Like they understand me. Now we can't have a deep conversation, but to get my point across, if I need to do this or that, they understand me, and I was surprised about that. And I was able to understand some of what they were saying too, because of the pronunciation and a lot of the words are the same.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to have a conversation. That's not happening.
Yeah.
So
And you know what's weird, especially out here in Sao Paulo, you're more likely to find people that speak English before Spanish. Like some people here in Brazil, they speak Spanish. They can speak Spanish,
yeah,
but because you have immigrants here, so
yeah,
I remember I knew this one girl from Uruguay, and then the agent that helped me find my apartment, his family's from Peru.
yeah,
But if you want to talk to somebody, some of them be like, hey, we speak English, because English is like a course here in like their elementary schools and things like that.
I didn't
So
know that. I didn't know that.
yeah, they stress English here more than they do in DR.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's funny you said that because I found out that when I spoke Spanish more, it was more amongst immigrants or amongst Brazilians that had lived in like one of those Spanish-speaking countries.
Mm-hmm.
But English, I felt that people spoke, at least in Rio, people spoke English more so than Spanish. But a lot of folks, they don't care. They just start speaking Portuguese, and when you tell them, "Hey, no fala português," they're like,
Right?
they go the other way.
Yeah. It's a blessing and a curse. It could be a blessing, like say if you want to try to talk to a girl, and that's my go-to line. Listen, y'all, don't take my go-to. So what I do is like I'll approach a girl and be like, desculpa, eu não falo muito português, but I can have a conversation and they don't know that.
Uh-huh.
And it'd be like, oh my God, you speak English, da, 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 da. And then it's like over right there.
Yeah, that's how you get them in. That's how you get them in. I feel you, man.
That's how you get them in.
I feel you, man. So, actually, he says when Chapapa gets to Argentina for a visit, he's going to want to leave Brazil. That's the beautiful thing about Latin America. Each country is unique in its own way. Very true. Each country is very unique, and I'll tell you this: Argentina, from what I hear, is even cheaper than Brazil.
It is. And funny you mentioned that. I'm trying to go there for my birthday in November.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to go there for a few days because I've been hearing it's cheaper. And then I recently just joined the Passport Bros group on Facebook. So I've been reading like some intel and like, I hear that it has the racism, but I also hear if you're in the correct place, the experience could be very, very good for you. Like you would really enjoy it. But I've heard that it's super cheap, and that's when you're not like shopping, but in terms of like food or maybe renting or going out or doing things, is like very cheap.
Yeah, and I mean they got economic problems there too, man. So you gotta take advantage of the economy.
Right.
Hey, Haitian Gunman, thank you so much, man, for the support, man. I greatly appreciate it, man. Greatly appreciate it. And Haitian Gunman, I'm pretty sure you were. What was the name? What was his name before? He had some name. Miami. He's from Miami. Haitian dude from Miami, a military vet.
Nah, Haitian Gunman's in Haiti.
Haitian Gunman's in Haiti.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah. I remember Haitian Gunman now. He came with your last slide.
Yeah, he came on the channel the other day. Yeah.
yeah. I remember now. Okay.
He always showing love though. Cool dude.
Yeah, hey, appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it. Hey, so next thing I got, man, for you is now that you're learning Portuguese, what's your process? Like, what are you taking? Like, you got a class you go to every day? You have a tutor, or you doing self-study?
So, I did start off with a tutor, and now I'm doing self-study. But the reason why I don't have a tutor right now is because I got a little bit of traveling going on, like in the month of October. So I didn't want to have the traveling going on while taking classes. So I was taking private classes. My teacher, she's from Rio. So I
Okay.
know once I get back and I'm settled and I don't have to worry about having to leave for my 180 days or take care of anything else, I'm back on my classes because I'm
Good.
trying to be as fluent as possible before I hit even a year here. So I want to say maybe I'm giving myself till February to be fluent in and out of Portuguese.
Brother, I'll tell you this. If you learn Spanish as fast as you did, you can definitely conquer Portuguese, which is just
Yeah,
very, very similar to Spanish. So you can definitely do it, man. You
I
can definitely
appreciate
do
that.
it.
It's definitely hard because I don't know if you noticed when you was here, when Brazilians speak, it sounds like they're singing.
Yeah, they do. And the
Uh,
pronunciations is so different. The
and
cool thing
their
about
alphabet
Spanish is it sounds like what it is. When you read it, it sounds like what it is. But in Portuguese, it's different.
is ridiculous. Like the R sounds like an H. I got them virtual class for you. All right, cool. Is it gonna sound crazy or habla, but is she a female though? Because I learned better with females. As crazy as that sounds.
And yeah, they get motivation. Hey, Profe Don Omar. Hey, check out his channel. Check out this guy's channel. He
Thanks.
has a lot of cool lessons on learning Spanish. Can be very, very helpful for you guys who are out there who are trying to pick up on the language and get better before your next trip.
And he speaks Portuguese too.
Yes, and I didn't know that until this live, so that's dope. That's dope. Uh, so the next thing I got for you, man, is after living in DR for so long and now in Brazil, would you ever move back to the States?
What's that song that used to be on like the vines and the TikToks and Instagrams? The hell to the to the no. Hell no.
So even if let me ask you this, you got a phone call, you got a job offer, you know, one
For
hundred
a
fifty
job
thousand
offer,
dollars a
no.
year.
Job, I'm lying. The one thing that could probably get me, and I would even say move back to the States. I would say spend more time in the States. The one thing that could get me back in the States physically for a great amount of time would be my kid.
Gotcha.
That'll be the only thing. But no job offer, no family, no friends, no event, nothing else.
And I want to stress this. Hey, X Trolling, blessings, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, brother. I really appreciate the support, man. I really do. Hey, I gotta say this. I gotta stress this. What he just said is that no amount of money can cause me to move back to the States. No amount of money. That means his freedom, his peace of mind cannot be bought. That is powerful. So for those of you who are out there back in the States or back in Europe or one Canada somewhere else, and you know you out there and you wishing you could be in his shoes, yes, that's because that money doesn't matter to him. And there's a lot of people who are like that. Yeah, including myself. You couldn't pay me enough to move back to the States.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, man, it's just that the peace of mind that you get from living in a place like Brazil with DR, man, it's there's no value to it, man.
Hey, the peace of mind really spoils you, and people don't get that. The
Mm-hmm.
peace of mind spoils you. You know, cutting down your rent by $2,500 spoils you, right? Being able to take a $40 flight to another city and enjoy yourself really spoils you.
It does.
Going fine dining at a restaurant on a rooftop and only walking away with a $50 bill spoils you.
It does.
And I don't want to, and the not even what I didn't even touch what it does for like your mental health, your spiritual health. I just graduated last week, so I just got my bachelor's degree.
Hey, man, blessings, man. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you. And even with that, I'm not gonna go back to the States and work. For what? Now I'm good out here making my living in these other countries where the dollar really works for you, where you feel the impact of your dollar. You're around different cultures, different people. You you could have you could have talked me out of that.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, I totally agree, man. And I think, to add on what you just said, those folks who really want to be where you are, man, who really want to be where you are, that should be motivation enough to get where you are, man. So I tell you, if you are single and you don't have those, even if you do have those strings attached to the U.S., but if you're a single man and you don't have maybe you have a kid, or maybe the kid doesn't live with you, or maybe you have a wife, or you have a girlfriend. Hey, you know how many people I met here who are single mothers with a kid, or single fathers with a kid that move out here? You got Jorge, who brought his mother over here. Look, man, you can do it. You really can.
Yep, and thank you everyone for the congratulations, bro. I go as far to tell people now, like, so I told my younger brother, and I tell people like still in their early 20s, I'm like, listen, if you're in a relationship, get out of the relationship. If you're thinking about getting a relationship, don't do it. Don't get married in the States. Don't have kids in the States. You can do it if that's your thing, but do it elsewhere. Go to one of these other countries, find a nice woman, and do what you got to do there. But don't do it in the States, because it's not worth doing it in the States anymore. In the States now, people look at those things like a scratch off. Like, you're gonna walk in a 7-Eleven and you're gonna buy a marriage scratch off, and if you win, boom, you get half of somebody's shit. Or if you get the wrong person pregnant, now you're going through court battles in and out for the duration. And now that kid is gonna grow up scarred. It's a whole system. It's the Matrix. What Uncle called. It's a whole system going on where, like, now I'm turning 30 in November. I wish somebody would have told me this 6 years ago.
Damn, man. You young as hell. I thought you were already in your 30s.
Nah, I'm turning 30 in November. That's why I could talk my shit. Youngest expat to hit the Dominican Republic.
Damn. That's what's up, man.
Thank you. Hey. Yeah, so I tell everybody, like, listen, all that stuff you want to do, get your passport, get a remote job, and move. Things as simple because a lot of people like, yeah, I want the girlfriend, I want the wife, I want the family, or I want the apartment. You could do that elsewhere.
Yeah. You can do it. All it takes for you to get that remote job, throw your stuff in the storage, or better yet, just sell it. You know what? Just give it away. Buy a one-way plane ticket to paradise, get here, and make it happen. A lot of people have done it before you, and a lot of people will continue to do it because look, man. I just read a news article. Mexico City, over since the pandemic has almost 1.5 million people move there. Expats move there to who are mostly either retirees or remote working, and that has changed the way that city operates. It has changed the culture. It has changed the face of Mexico City.
Yep.
You know how powerful that is?
I saw that.
That's just a piece of what the world is moving towards. People are leaving the States. Why am I going to pay all this money for this mortgage, or for rent, or for services, when I can move to the Dominican Republic and only pay a third of that and live a much higher quality of life?
Listen, my brother Jorge had it made in the States, and he took his mom to the Dominican Republic, and everybody's like, they hit you with excuses. Oh, but I gotta care for my parents, or I gotta do. The man packed up his mom. His mom will go to Soho. The rooftop pool is Soho. Samana put a plot at the beach restaurant every week. You think he could do that in the States? In 90-something degree weather, where she don't gotta fight the cold, and the cold is aching her bones and all that stuff. Come on.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
it's like the excuses day by day are getting smaller and smaller, y'all.
It is, and especially shout out to Jorge, man. I really enjoy Jorge's channel, man, and the content he puts out, man. Much respect to that dude. Also, he's from Maryland too, just like me. So we got a lot of common. But yeah, man. Jorge, he has a lot of good jewels.
Only thing I don't appreciate about him that he can't let me be in peace. That man stayed trying to recruit me back to Dominican Republic. So I'm trying to listen. I've been trying to recruit people over here. So I've been trying to recruit him over here, Vince, Russell, those people who I know like are in DR. I'm like, listen, if you enjoy this in DR, wait till you come to Brazil and So I've been trying to recruit myself.
I tell you this, I'm not going to make the move to Brazil, but because I enjoy Brazil so much, and Brazil is so big, there's so much to see in Brazil. I'm going to return. My wife and I, we're going to go back in May. We're going to spend the whole entire month of May in Brazil.
Hey, so, be careful because that month might do it to you.
Hey, we'll see. We're going to check out Sao Paolo. They got a place called Canela Gramado, Canela, where like the mountains are, the snow-capped mountains.
Yeah, Sao Paulo, Bahia, where the beaches are.
Yeah, Bahia, Salvador. We want to check out Salvador. We want to check out.
I've been told there's cheap. Bahia.
Bahia cheap.
Yeah.
Hey, so a taxi driver, he told me the food is better up there. Like they have better food up there because the food in Rio, man, wasn't really.
Yeah,
wasn't happening.
You know what's funny about Brazil? It's like, so you got Rio, you'll have Rio beefing with Sao Paulo and Sao Paulo beefing with the North Coast. And it's like all these cities be beefing, and most of it is because of soccer.
Gotcha.
So and food. It's like soccer and food. Like our food is better than yours. Our soccer team is better than yours. It's hilarious. But I've heard that too. Food on the North Coast. I'm definitely, when I go up there, I'm definitely gonna put that on a channel. I just don't know if I want to shoot up there first or Argentina. But I know as soon as I finish my things up in October, I'm definitely hitting one of those.
And here's my thinking too. My thinking is, all right, Bahia is majority black, so black folks, they tend to put a lot more seasoning, a lot more soul into their food. So therefore, their food's got to be better, right?
Yeah, automatically.
I mean, that's my thinking, but who knows?
Automatically.
Hey, so I got one last question for you, man. So, and essentially, with all everything that you've done, man. I mean, I see a lot of videos on food, on taking trips to like various places. You doing a lot of collaborations, a lot with Jorge, a lot with Russ and other folks. If you can do this move, make this move all over again, you can do it all over again. How would you do it differently? And not just to Brazil, but to DR too.
Man, if I could do DR all over again, I probably would have moved out to Santiago first.
Yeah.
I definitely would have dated differently. 1,000% would have dated differently. That and I would have moved differently. I definitely would have been a little bit more stone cold from the beginning, just to like manage out there, not to be like an asshole or grind, but I probably would have started a YouTube channel sooner, like a lot sooner if I knew. And while I was in DR, I probably would have been traveling to other countries. So my first time in Colombia also was just this year. So I've been to Colombia like 3 times this year, and it was all my first time. So I definitely would have done things a little bit different, like in terms of where I was living, how I was moving, people I knew. I definitely would have moved out to Santiago, tried my hardest to tell, hey Russ, move out to Santiago. I would have met Jorge sooner. I definitely would have avoided my only serious relationship in the Dominican Republic. I would have avoided that completely. But other than that, you know, I'm content with where I'm at now and where I ended up. I'm very content.
And same thing with Brazil.
Yeah, I'm with Brazil. I probably would have came here. Shit, but I would have came sooner. I probably still would have ended up coming to Brazil just because I feel there's a lot of things that are upgrade over Dominican Republic.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
probably still would have ended up here.
I can see that, and I think if I didn't have, if I wasn't married and then I didn't have those special ties to DR, I would consider moving. But at the same time, like you, I got a daughter too, so I want to be close. And
Mhm.
Brazil's kind of far, man. Brazil's kind of out there.
Right.
Hey, big up to Kings. Hey man,
Yeah, that's
look
my
man,
guy.
you brought heavy hitters to my channel. I mean Jorge, you got Profe Don Omar, you got Kings and Dreams, you got the Godfather himself.
Hey, listen,
Uh,
man.
uh, Life in
I have
Haiti
to
with
tell everybody,
Marie.
I have to tell everybody, pull up, show love, man, because you know it's always good vibes. These brothers bring Kings and Dreams, Habla, Jorge, Russ. You know, so I had to bring the team out. You see, there go Jorge acting up again, talking about he would have been pillow talking. Man,
Yeah,
listen. If
but I think and just I want to put this out there. All of you, I'm subscribed to all of your channels. So just so you know. So thank you for showing love to me and coming on. And look, man, look, Free. Thank you so much, Free, for coming on this channel, man. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. I've learned quite a bit just talking to you. There's so much more I like to go into talking to you, man. But you know, I mean, we already been an hour, man, and I don't know about you, but I got to work in the morning. But
I feel you.
but man, thank you so much for coming on the channel. I hope we can do this again because there's some other areas that
Big
I
thank
still
you
want to
for
pick your
having me on
brain.
the channel.
Yeah, man. And hey, for all of you out there, go subscribe to Kings and Dreams, subscribe to Jorge with My Journey with Mom, subscribe to Profe Don Omar with Habla Conmigo TV, subscribe to Free with Chapapa TV. Go ahead and subscribe to Kings and Dreams. Go ahead and subscribe to Life in Haiti with Marie and subscribe to Russell Taylor. But if you subscribe to all those folks, you probably already subscribed to the Godfather. But
Yes,
hey,
sir.
Free. Anything? You got anything you want to say before we put this live to a close?
Listen, if anybody have any questions, make sure you guys hit up Profi and you know go check out every one of these channels because you can learn something
Yes.
different from every person's experience. So what you learn from Profi, you know, you might hear a different form for us. We all have our learning ear. Everybody learns differently, right? So definitely thank you Profi for having me on here and you know to chop it up with you anytime you want to hit me up we could talk about whatever because for me I just want to share my experience because what Russell did for me, what Jorge did for me, I want to pass that on to guys older than me who maybe don't have the chance or maybe don't believe them or guys younger than me because we all know like you know processing information like oh man that man lying or that ain't possible like yo yeah I'm here to tell you that whatever it is you think you're going through alone everybody's going through it
Yes.
and,
True.
and whatever excuses you're making to hold yourself back we threw those excuses out the window we packed up we got on our flights and we left. Look at Kings and Dreams, for example. Kings and Dreams, the half pack. You know, he spends half his time of the year outside the country, and then he's in the States. You know, so find what works for you, but as long as you're doing something, man. I'm just gonna say, pick your anchor up. Don't stay rooted to the States. And I'm not gonna say I hate the United States or I'm bash whatever, but I'm gonna say for your happiness, for your peace of mind, there's better.
Yes. Yes. 100%. I'm biased. I mean, I've been traveling for years, but look, once you leave the United States and you go to a place like DR, like Brazil, like Thailand, I'm telling you, when you go back to the States, it's going to be calling you. I know you want to come back. I know you want to come back. It's going to be
But
calling you.
but I'm gonna say this on air. You might as well just skip the line and come straight to Brazil. Go straight to Brazil, Colombia. If you go take it exactly, if you go to really take it serious, skip the line. Yeah, DR got tailor-made and Jorge, but yo, you want infrastructure, you want beautiful women, you want good food, you want more bang for your dollar. Coming out to Brazil, coming out to South Beach. You got palm trees and shit. Go up to Colombia, but I'm telling you.
I will agree with him 100%. I'm biased to DR because I'm here. I got ties here, but Brazil is better in many ways. Which is me answering the title of this channel. It's better because of all the things that he mentioned. But DR is smaller, and DR is closer to the US, it's closer to Europe, it's closer to Canada, so it's closer to a lot of the places where a lot of people are coming from. So that may be a benefit to some folks. But Brazil is organized. Brazil is developed. Brazil does many things in a more organized, professional manner than you will see in the United States. That some of the traits of the United States that people actually love, right? And it's cheap.
And Brazil will surprise you, not just in terms of the physical things like infrastructure, the dollar, but just the energy, the vibe, the people. Bro, so I've had somebody, so the internet right now in my house isn't even in my name. It's in somebody else's name because I can't get stuff in my name yet. And I have this friend, shout out to my friend Jay in Brasilia, the capital. She was like the first woman to like ask me out, like, hey, let's go to this spot. And I'm like, that's weird. Even in DR, I didn't have like, women wouldn't ask you out. You more got to ask them out because with them being so close to the States, some of that, that mentality drifts down to them. But yo, it's cool out here, son. Yo, I've had girls taking out a ramen spots or make a reservation here. We go there. It's cool if you're a single guy. If you're a single guy, you're gonna love it. If you're older and you have your family or you're already married, you're still gonna love it. There's a part of Brazil that's for everybody, no matter who you are. So I'm still recruiting. So I'm gonna tell all you guys, especially I'm talking to Jorge, especially pack up moms and move down here. I'm talking to Russ. After you come back from Thailand, but Thailand another level because I still got to go out there. But whoever ready, maybe you might want to skip that DR line because to me, I feel like DR is going to end up like Mexico, like that article you talked about.
Yeah,
come to Brazil.
Yeah,
come to Brazil, and then when you come down here, just hit me up in the comments. Be like, yo, Chapapa, you're right.
Hey, Kings of Dreams. Hey, I'm with you. That's why I had to go to Brazil because everyone's saying it's lit. And I went out there and it's lit. I'm telling you.
Yo.
It's lit. And I only went to Rio. I didn't go anywhere else. It's lit. I'm telling you. It really is.
It's fine, man. But
one thing I want to say, man, is South America is like that. Where the women, you will find that the women are much more interested in you, right? So they will make the more likely to make the first move. I used to live in Peru. I was in the Peace Corps, so when I got out of college, I went to Peru, and I was there for almost 3 years. And while I was there, I was totally shocked on how the women would be so. They will make the first move, and they will take you out and all this stuff. I mean, like surprise. So,
bro, it's weird. Like I just had a nice young lady take me to a vegan restaurant that I've never been to, and when you meet people that want to be around you, man, your world just opens up. Because I've been put on to like, they'll put you on to so many little things that you didn't even know existed or you could do down here. Just by women don't care if they take that first step, if they don't take that first initiative.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, with that said, bring your butt over to Brazil, bring your butt over to DR. Hey, I even recommend Peru, but I'm gonna be honest, Brazil is better than Peru, but Peru is nice too. So hey, check out those places. Hey, again, chat. Thank you for coming on my channel, Kings and Dreams. Prophet Don Omar, Jorge, Russ, Marie, X-Stroller, Haitian Gunman, and everyone else that came through. I really appreciate it. Hey, Free. Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you too. Yeah, make sure you guys, if you guys are new watchers, make sure you guys subscribe. If you missed the live stream, sorry. I missed. You hear me?
Yeah, hey.
Yeah. So if you guys missed this, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on that bell, and we'll catch you in the next one. Till then,
Right.
if one more thing. Till then, if you're going out to DR, hold the line. Hold the line. If you're going out to Colombia, hold the line. If you're not going to hold the line in Brazil, don't come. Don't mess up the market here, please. Listen, this is a shirt I made myself when I was living in DR. When I first moved to Puerto Plata, it says 2,000 pesos an hour, 2,000 pesos an hour, 3,500 for the whole night. See or no? Yes or no? So listen, hold the line. If you ain't gonna hold the line, don't even come to Brazil. I'm a call the airport, be like, hey, listen, you can't let this person in to the country. They're a menace. So don't come down here if you're gonna act the fool. Other than that, we good.
I hear you. All right, brother. Hey, you all have a good night. We'll do this again soon. All right.
You too, bro. Thank you.